Our students are fantastic. And the one that I have the pleasure of introducing this morning is particularly fantastic, Stephon Smith. So Stephon Smith is a senior, originally from Atlanta, Georgia. He came to Loyola from Delaney High School. He's an international business major with a minor in environmental and sustainable studies and French. He's a member of our Sellinger Scholars, our honors program for the business school. He's an evergreen orientation leader and mentor. He's the president of our gospel choir. He's a member of our Green and Gray Society, where he serves as a liaison on behalf of the student body to the president of the university. He's the co-director of sustainability for our Student Government Association. And in all his free time, he's held an internship with UCapture, an environmental company here in Baltimore, and he's currently in the process of designing his own research study for his spring semester of his senior year. Oh, and he has a couple of cool job opportunities lined up, but I'll let him talk to you about that. Please welcome Stephon Smith.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, my paper's all set up. All right, so good morning. My name is Stephon Smith. I'm a senior here at Loyola, and I want to start by thanking the undergraduate admission team for giving me the opportunity to speak to you all today. I have learned in my 22 years of life that the best thing you could share with someone are stories. So, here's mine. I come from a modest family in Statesboro, Georgia. We never had much, just always what we needed. My parents from a very young age stressed two things: academics and athletics. We moved to Maryland when I was 12, and I attended Delaney High School right down the street. So my senior year of high school came around. I was a varsity captain in 3 sports with a good GPA, but no real other extracurriculars besides French club, which I only went to for the food. I had many offers to run track at D3 schools, but I had my eyes set on playing football at Alabama and Penn State. My parents wanted me to take a look at smaller schools, the one offering the athletic programs, but I knew I was going to play D1 football. Then by chance, I visited Loyola University Maryland just to have one local school on the list. So my senior year didn't really start off how I wanted it to. My first football game of the year, I tore my ACL. And just like that, my way of earning a ticket to the university and school through athletic scholarship had been taken away. And I was spending all of my time in recovery and rehabilitation to get healthy again. So there I was, no athletic scholarship, no academic scholarship, and no visible way to make it to college. I was forced to wait, forced to take a step back and reassess how I approach this whole next step idea. I realized I was focused on how I wanted my future to be and how I wanted to work for it. And you know, that's not what God wanted. It's not. Through a series of conversations and events, I became refocused on what my purpose was. So starting my first year here, I took advantage of everything Loyola had to offer. After my fall welcome weekend at Loyola, as a first-year student, I wanted to get involved with Messina, our first-year living learning program. With my Messina classmates, there was a bond formed in those late nights, studying the monarchies in France and conjugating French verbs into the conditional tense. Yeah, you know. My sophomore year, I became an evergreen orientation leader and chose to work as a Messina mentor with the same professors I had my first year. And 3 years later, I'm still working with them. Whew. Along with being an evergreen, I decided to join the gospel choir, despite having never sung in my life. I love it so much now that I'm the president. And one thing we've worked to build with campus ministry is a non-denominational service with gospel choir providing the musical ministry. So if you want, you can come and get blessed every Sunday at 3 p.m. Another significant program that I joined was the Sellinger Scholars. As a Sellinger Scholar, we take honors business classes and have the Sellinger Scholars experience every other Friday. I have gotten interview and resume tips from my counselor in the Career Center. I have met alums who've graduated with international business degrees, and every once in a while, we take a class trip to places like Legg Mason or Trade Point Atlantic, 2 local firms here in Baltimore. As I think back, it was at my Loyola open house where I discovered what my next step would be. I sat in on an academic information session presented by Dr. Peter Lorenzi, an international business professor here. In a conversation with him, Dr. Lorenzi spoke about the theme for the Sellinger School, building a better world through business. This concept stressed that business can be a good way for financial prosperity, but it also celebrates the good that business can do for society. In short, I realize that you can use business to serve others and fight for justice, fight for social justice through innovation. One thing that I have chosen to fight for are issues affecting our environment. I joined the Environmental Action Committee my first year, which met weekly to discuss sustainable efforts on our campus. The members there encouraged me to pursue a minor in environmental and sustainable studies, which is how I met a popular Jesuit named Father Brown, a professor in law and social responsibility. With his help, I was introduced to the CEO of UCapture, and I began my first internship helping the university achieve its climate neutrality goals. As time progressed, I wanted to increase my involvement even more, so I applied and became the co-director of sustainability for SGA, helping the university's sustainability committee develop institutional structures and long-term goals to reduce our carbon footprint. Our work led to Follow La Name signing into action the presidential carbon commitment with the goal of achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. As spring semester approaches, I plan to create an independent study with my accounting professor, researching the synergies between environmentalism and capitalism in the financial securities industry. It is in the process of getting passed as we speak. And finally, the big question I get asked every day: what will you do when you graduate, Stephon? Currently, I am interviewing for positions in Morgan Stanley and Volkswagen. So, if you want to help me out, I believe a list of 1,500 references could give me a competitive edge. So let's make this a team effort, huh? All right? In closing, what I have realized in my time here is that Loyola will provide you with the resources to be the best person that you can be. But it is up to you to take a step and walk onto the stage. And though I am a senior and I've had 4 years to adjust to the Loyola College life, I want you to understand that I was in your seat at one point. Well, maybe not the people over here. I sat over there. I remember sitting right there. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to tell you right side people. But I remember distinctly where I sat. And I remember the student speaker who was on stage. And after they finished, I turned to my mom and did something that you only get one time in your life to do to your parents. I looked her dead in the eyes, and I said, I don't know how we'll do it, but I have to come to this school. Oh, really? Why is that? She said with a face. I don't know, but I feel like this is my second chance, and I want to get what Loyola gave that kid. So my last piece of advice, students, pay attention to how you feel today. Look for that moment where you realize this is where you're supposed to be. And parents, I have advice for you as well. Pay attention and see if you notice that look in your own student's eyes. Thank you for your attention this morning. It was a pleasure to speak to you all today. Please come and find me if you have any questions, and have a good day, everybody.